guess I'll focus on running it now. I'll let you off the phone. I appreciate you answering. And
Go.
okay. And that would be helpful. If you do swap me today, that'd be helpful because I got to write another script.
Sim swap.
Okay.
Say hi to Instagram. Let's go, boys.
All right. Woo! Hey, Mary and Justin. Let's make sure this is coming over to YouTube.
God damn it, Johnny got ZK sinking. No, why'd we let him do that?
Oh my god.
Yes. Yes. All right.
I'm waiting for this to drop right now.
All right.
Stop showing me a ZK roll up. No, I'm just kidding.
Coming to you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It is a great day to discover crypto. It is Wednesday, October 18th. It's 10:35. We got Drew and Kelly on the ones and twos today. And today, folks, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. Of course, we got to talk about the main story here. Reddit rug pulling their community tokens, the RCPs, the Reddit community points. A lot of Reddit users are pissed. The moons are down. The Fortnite token's down as well. And it is down big, folks. I'm talking about a complete bear market retracement in 1 hour. It was insane. Also, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about X/Twitter. We might mention Sam Bankman-Fried's father. We got some interesting info on that. Also, ZK roll-up, ZK sync stuff. A lot of people really love it. And last but not least, we have SWE and ETH we're going to talk about. But Kelly, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling, charged up, sleeping well. Got a big trip planned tomorrow with TJ. Got some big things in the work for BitLab. But you know what? I'm ready to dive into the stories and the charts. We got a lot to talk about today. Let's give it to the people.
All right, folks, make sure you follow us on YouTube. We're putting out a lot of great content now. Let's just look at the crypto market cap here, crypto markets. How are things moving? Let's see here. We're going to have to move a little bit over here. All right, we have to fix that. Maybe I can move it just a smidgen to the downside. Right there. All right, so you can see the crypto market cap is up 0.2%. 24-hour volume is down a little bit. Now we're down to $39 billion. Bitcoin dominance coming in at 49.1. And gas is literally exactly where it was yesterday. Yesterday it was 18 Gwei as well. All right, so Bitcoin is largely flat, folks. It is down, but it's only down 0.1%. It's still coming in at above $28,000, 28,300. ETH, Bitcoin down 0.1, ETH up 0.2%. You can see ETH is up a little bit, still coming in below 1,600, however, is now coming in at 1,577. BNB is up 0.5 point, but really everything is flat until you go to Toncoin. Toncoin's moving a little bit. It's moving about 2.5%. But let's see the exciting coins, okay? That's all boring. I need something to excite me. I need some juicy candles. Hopefully double digits, right? Do we get that? Not quite. It's Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet's up 8.1% here. It is up 15% for the week. Bitcoin SV, BSV is up 5.4%. But look at that weekly gain. It is up 26% this week. Then we have Stacks, Hedera, Synthetics, Chiliz, Injective, Toncoin, eCash, Render, Tron, GMX. So then outside of the top 10, we have ApeCoin in there because these you can't have any winners today. All right, let's look at the losers. I got a streak going. I think it's about 200 days. Yeah. Oh, 201 days. Number one loser of the day is Roll Bitcoin. RLB is down. You know, it's funny. Yesterday, I actually, because I don't always say it, I said, oh, I should take profits on it. I feel like today I will take profits.
You get a little busy?
I got a little busy. I'm working on this Larry Fink script, guys. You guys are really going to like it. If you like the Joe Rogan one, it's going to be in a similar style. So I think a lot of people like the Joe Rogan one. All right, RLB, Roll Bitcoin, the gambling casino coin is down 4.6%. You think it would have got extra attention with the Cointelegraph news, right? A lot of people are like, oh, leverage trading. Okay, let me go check out the site. Now the token's down a little bit. Conflux is also down. Frax is down 3.6%. We have Clayton down 3.3. You have OKB Caspa. Caspa's down. Okay, maybe a little Caspa opportunity for myself here. However, still in the green for the week. It is up 7.7%. Immutable X, Algorand. People are talking about Algorand.
New lows here for Algorand. Right?
New lows. Everybody who's bought Algorand is literally in a loss right now. Right? If I'm not mistaken.
This is a dangerous thing to do. Let's go to Max.
Yeah, so the max is, the line's almost too flat, but if you look here, yeah, it is the lowest it has been. I mean, maybe it was a little bit of a brief September, so if we go to the 90-day, Okay, so not all right. So there's 17 people who bought in a 2-hour window. They're in the green, folks. They're in the green. But everybody else, except for those 17 people, they are in a loss right now. It's more than 17 people, folks.
Timing is everything.
Timing is everything. Yeah, looking at the chart, it's not looking good. But it does seem like it likes. It's almost like a magnet to that 10 cents. So I mean, if I was a spec trader. Yeah, I wouldn't hate spec trading this, coming in at 9 cents and jumping out at 10. That's an 11% gain for the normal people. That wets their beak. That gets them excited. Me, does nothing.
Hey, it's coming into a pretty tight range too. I have the algorithm chart up here.
Ooh.
Massive falling wedge. I mean, look at this coming right into the apex area. Will it break down or break up? You know, interestingly, they don't always have to break up. We saw that on gold, broke down from the falling wedge and then came up. So I don't want you to look at this, say, well, everybody says a falling wedge is a bullish pattern. It has to break up. It very well could, wash some people out. So trade carefully. I do think there's possibly even some better prices in store, and I'm still liking Algorand for the next bull run.
All right, so you get 100 Algorand for $9. I mean, you can get 1,000 for under $100. So if you want to scoop 1,000 of a coin for under $100, maybe Algorand could be a choice, though. I do have to do some DCAing here. I heard a good investment thesis. I'll type something in at the end so I can remember. I'm going to share my investment thesis on what I might buy next. And the reason why, I'm just going to I'm going to whisper a word. BlackRock. And so I think it might pump this thing. So I'll share that at the end. I am going to do a DCA. Last week it was boring. It was ETH. This time it's a little bit more speculative. So maybe we'll... Maybe you guys can make fun of me or agree with me.
Luna?
Oh, Terra Luna Classic, of course. No, it's not that. All right, folks, if you want to get some merch, we got pretty cool merch here. What's the come and take it? I like that.
I wore that shirt yesterday. It's a great one.
All right, so this is brand new, yesterday?
Yeah, it fits good. I like it.
Morel is crushing it, isn't
Morel's killing it with the merch.
Yeah, Morel's the one who made that nice XRP hoodie. Crypto Blood is not a fan of this clothing right here, but I think this thing looks awesome. All right, let's also give a quick shout out to Link2. We want to give him a quick shout out because we were talking about the Ripple IPO yesterday with Around the Blockchain. So if you want to check that out, and hey, we give you a quick shout out on how maybe Link2 can get you in on that Ripple IPO. But now it is time for the top story. I do want to shout out a comment, DCA and Pray. Hey, you guys remove the random R at the top of the rundown. RIP random R. R.I.P. Random R.
Are you ready to get this going?
I am ready to get this going. Speaking of R, it was a segue. I don't know, it wasn't. I'm just making it up now. Reddit rug pulled, everybody, and people are feeling regarded. Actually, they're not feeling regarded here.
Ridiculous.
They're feeling ridiculous here. Reddit is killing blockchain-based community points. Morgan Sung. I did a quick short on it. Maybe I can. We'll play the short real quick, and then we'll get into the articles. This is 30 seconds here, folks. Yeah, I've not seen people talk about that airdrop, but that'd be all speculation, folks. But let's get into the articles here. Maybe they'll mention it. Morgan Sung wrote this one here. Reddit is winding down community points, the blockchain-based internet points program designed to reward the creators and developers in favor of prioritizing rewards programs that are less difficult to scale. Community points, which would be phased out. So community points phased out in early November. They were promoted as a chance for Redditors to own a piece of their community. Very, very strong language there with the own. I mean, definitely makes you think, hey, some sort of airdrop, some sort of community point, some sort of governance token, some sort of reward for all the hard work that I'm doing. You know, I'm sitting here, I'm upvoting, I'm commenting, I'm making articles, I'm trying to do all my things to get this subreddit blowing up. You know, and then maybe at the end of the day, hey, I'll have some sort of ownership. I mean, how could you think anything else besides, an airdrop of some sort? Well,
yeah, but I would just want to caution people, we talk about buying dips. This is something that completely changes the fundamentals of the project and that's shaking the community. So, I mean, it's up 123% from its low here on, I don't even know what chart I'm looking at. But So just be careful if you're buying this. There's going to be likely some profit taking and likely move back down. So don't get caught in the wicks on this.
Yeah, a lot of people just blaming Gary. I blame Gary too. You know, Reddit basically did attribute it to the non-compliance, just a lack of communication when they do want to comply here. Reddit moved community points to Arbitrum Nova in 22, which is built on top. It's funny, the Normie article, you know, they're trying to maybe explain an L2 here. It's built on top, okay? It's on top, folks. We keep scrolling. He added that the special features that community points can buy, like gifts, should be available to any community. Once the program is fully phased out, beta participants will no longer see their points in their vaults and will no longer earn points in their communities. Although they said he couldn't give an exact count of the number of subreddits affected by the cut, he admitted you'd be able to count them on one hand and have a finger or two left over. It's mostly the cryptocurrency subreddit and the Fortnite subreddit that are really feeling the pain right now. You noted that the company isn't phasing out community points to make way for the contributor program, but rather to prioritize on programs that are more set up to scale and benefit more users, like the contributor program. This is the nice theory. The not so nice theory, contributor program is how they monetize. And so that's where you buy rewards. And I'm not certain on it. I've never bought a reward myself, but Kelly made an awesome post. I want to show him some love. I'll buy a silver medal or a gold medal or a diamond. I don't know. They have all these different things with different prices, kind of like TikTok. And then Kelly would get a piece of that. Well, who gets the rest of it? Reddit. Reddit gets the other half. I think it's a 50-50 split. And so Reddit wants to no longer phase out where you own the tokens, the subreddit owns the tokens. No, Reddit wants to phase that out into something where they get 50% of the revenue. Okay, so they've gone from a system where, unless they allocate, points for themselves, a system where you own everything, into a system where you only own half. And really, then it's if you put in money. So
we want to give rewards. We want to give not that many rewards.
Yeah, not that many. No. All right, well, the tokens plunged on the report here of the wind down, Moon, Brick, and then the third one, they're saying, hey, you can count on one hand and two fingers left over. The remaining one was the donut. Yeah, we're going to have to fix this thing. Yeah, this is as far left as it goes. So we're tweaking around here. Go back so I can do it real time here. All right.
If you command minus, it'll shrink the page a little bit.
Look, don't be spitting your Apple short hotkeys at me.
I'm all about the hotkeys. Even on TradingView.
Speaking of Apple, did you see the clip of the guy eating the apple?
No.
I'll have to share it at the end.
X-Minute,
some people might know what I'm talking about. We'll share it at the X-Minute. Drew, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm going to have to.
Oh, it's a politician getting grilled by media, and he just grills him right back while casually eating an apple. And it's a masterclass. All right, Reddit, shuttering. It's roughly a 3-year-old blockchain-based community points program. I want them to go into, here we go here. This is what I want to look at. Moons lowered by 85%. Brick dropped 67%. And then Donuts was for ETH Trader. That subreddit is down 66%. So the coins took a heck of a beating there. A lot of people feeling the pain there. So I don't know. Anyone in the chat had Moons? I thought about maybe looking into it, but then Moons kept pumping, and then it'd be like the long, boring period, and I wouldn't think about it. And then it'd pump, and then I'd read an article. Pumped. I'll have to buy after the pump. And then I wouldn't buy after the pump. Then it'd pump again, and just the cycle kept repeating there. So, all right, Colin Sinclair thinks Moon's going to go back up. Here's my bullish scenario. If they do end up doing, kind of like what I alluded to in that TikTok, if they do end up doing a 1-to-1 airdrop, I would sell into that speculation. I think there might be some speculation, but I would just be careful. It could fall another 90%, folks. What do you say?
I mean, I don't want to say risk averse because I'm nearly all in on crypto, but I am definitely a little bit resistance to something that's Shiba Inu dog dupa boo unu coin or Moon or something that, because I feel like ironically, if you're trying to sell something with that sort of branding, it seems more likely than not it's not going to do what they're promoting.
Yeah, and I would put that same category for things that have clear IP violations. You're like, wait a minute, I don't think Pikachu is releasing a coin. I don't think Nintendo's gave their green light for this. So when you see something like Pikachu coin, maybe there might be some legal issues if it were to grow. Just look what happened with Pepe. Pepe was nothing, but then once it got big, then all of a sudden, you got people coming out the woodwork. Oh, I own this art image. Oh, yeah, you owe me money. So the bigger something gets, that's when you're going to get more spotlights. But speaking of spotlight, I want some BitLab spotlight on the market. What is going on with the markets? Do we got some BitLab charts today? Something besides Moon? I guess there's some like real projects out there that maybe people care about.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna do a little bit of a bullish narrative and a little bit of a bearish narrative, because I think it's important for people to realize, depending on who you're following on Twitter or on YouTube, or if you're doing all your own diligence, there can be a lot of stuff that fuels a bias without if you don't look to the other narrative. So I want to show some bullish charts and then follow it up with some pretty impactful bearish concerns that I have. Looking at this chart here.
So you want to get us happy. You want to get us feeling hopey. And we want it like the party's going, the music's blasting, you're dancing with the hot honey, then all of a sudden you want to do the record scratch on us.
Absolutely.
Why do you go in reverse?
Because people see these charts. You know, this chart right here from Stock Money Lizards, and I love these guys. I use a lot of their charts. I talk with them. They've been on my podcast. And we can see this chart suggests that we are basically on the verge of having this absolute moon. And I do think we are. But on the verge, I mean in the macro. I think we still have a couple months before anything like that happens. Where this chart suggests that we're right on this precipice of this push-up. And if you really zoom in on this, we can see that there is a massive push up here and a large sell-off. So don't look at this and go leverage long and then basically get yourself completely capitulated out with a liquidation, because you're not recognizing, just like the video I did, I think last week, that catching those breakouts, you want to wait for that confirmation. So this is bullish, but it doesn't mean immediately bullish. We still have some work to do. This chart also suggests right here, the log money flow index just passed above 50. This has historically began at the basically start of a bull market. We can see it right here.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But look at this.
I like that.
What happens? We still get that black swan capitulation. Right here, we get, a lot of work is done before we get that parabola. So are we there yet? I'm not sure. Why? Because look at this, NASDAQ versus Treasuries. Kelly, I don't care about that. I'm in Bitcoin and crypto. Well, you got to care if you want to have a well-structured portfolio and understand the market risks that are going on. Right now, we can see the ratio of NASDAQ to U.S. Treasuries return is currently at an 8.2. This is just essentially, in other words, the NASDAQ to U.S. Treasuries return ratio is 70% higher than it was. This is the tech bubble right here. And this is also much higher than it was at the peak of the financial crisis. Something is brewing. What's going to happen there? We also see right here, a reversion will happen. See how far this spread is right here? This is a large sort of pressure to the downside. What does that mean? Well, we can see that broken down here very simply. Equity risk premium. This is showing that we're getting very, very, very expensive stocks relative to what's going on in the economy. So what does that mean for Bitcoin right now? Well, gold is pushing up. What we're all waiting on is that switch for Bitcoin as a cultural asset as well as an investment asset to actually take on that digital gold narrative. DZ, do you want Bitcoin to actually perform as digital gold?
All right, so it's a complicated answer because gold was manipulated.
Well, I mean in the context of a flight to safety.
Do I want Bitcoin to be the flight to safety?
Or do you want to, because I feel like there's a bit of a battle here, because some people would argue they want it, but then they still, on the same time, they want to make a lot of profits on this. And I think that we still need, if you're looking at it as a trader, you want that volatility up to the upside and the downside. If it's only a flight to safety and nobody sells it, then only the people that are buying and holding, not trading, will really be making money, because it's going to go up in a consistent form over time, especially with the adoption curve that's coming in. So the question is, we're in the middle of global conflict right now with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a commodity. People showing this chart right here, Bitcoin is a commodity. When is this going to start performing as a flight to safety, especially if we have the ETFs on the horizon? These are the numbers I'm looking at. Why am I not only looking in one direction? Well, because charts suggest there's a lot of bullishness coming, but the economy suggests that we still need to have risk concern here. And so this is the number I'm really watching right here. Let's call it 28,000 even. This number is right below us. It's 28,173. Once we lose this, we're back in this zone. And remember, we talked about this the other day, DZ, this sort of zone that we are really compressing into, I do think this will fall back in this, barring us not getting a blanket ETF approval for everything. I do still think that we have price action coming to the downside. Now, do I think it's going to be like Crypto Savvy where we're breaking to, all the way back beyond 8,000? No, I don't think that's going to be the case. I do think we are going to test below 25 at some point. As it stands right now, we do have a bull flag, but the pressures on this market are bearish. We also had a bearish divergence between this high and this high. We see the RSI higher here and lower here. We got the MACD rolling over, money flows coming out. If we look at this on the BitLab trading stack, we can see that, look at this, huge momentum wave down, much lower, stochastics rolling over, RSI rolling over, getting some bearishness coming in. So I'm just saying right now is a time for some caution. XRP, last thing I want to say here, again, we still have this scary sort of form of a semblance of a head and shoulders with also a rejection, a confirmation flipping from support to resistance. This is sort of the last line in the sand right here, which is basically 48.2. If we lose this, I do think we're going to be testing down into the low 40s and potentially below. That's what I'm seeing right now. It's a lot to digest with the market right now because we want it to be bullish, but the pressures in the market right now just suggest patience still. And I hate to be a bummer, but I'm talking the data. I'm not talking bias.
No, man, you're just a bummer, man. Like, Bitcoin's going to $1 million, man. Why are you a bummer?
Hey, man, it is going to $1 million.
Just
not yet.
Yeah, just not in 2025. IMX working with AWS and rumored Polygon games on IMX. Any truth to this? Yes, but the working with AWS just means they pay for Amazon Web Services, which a lot of projects do. There's nothing unique or nothing bullish. I wouldn't say, they're just like closely aligned, and Jeff Bezos is visiting their office.
They hired him.
Yeah,
they hired him for services.
Yeah, he's going in there and he's like laughing on his like, ha ha ha. And the rumor of the Polygon games, yes, IMX, but one might say that's more bullish for Polygon than IMX. It's like IMX almost throwing the towel in the ring and saying, all right, you're going to win. We just kind of want to like latch onto you and just, hook our buggy to the winning horse here. But speaking of the winning horse, let's talk about Bitcoin, folks. Bitcoin nears $29,000 as a Fidelity ETF amendment bumps bullish sentiment. I have a question to you, Kelly and Drew. So we had a BlackRock fake tweet. We had a 10% pump. What if 14 ETFs are all approved at once? BlackRock gets theirs, Gemini gets theirs, Ark and Kathy, everybody is happy. Will we get more? Will it be a 20%, 15%, or will it just max out at 10%?
I think it's going to be hard to really even contextualize what's going to happen with that astronomical God candle that we'll get, because as those get approved, it's not like gold with ETFs in that you have to have essentially 1-to-1 of the asset backing the purchasing that's coming in.
Yep.
So essentially, you're going to have the flood of retail and speculators coming in, as well as the buying from the ETFs. To basically substantiate the underlying asset for what they're selling in the ETF. So I think, and that doesn't even contextualize or include the absolute mass inflow that's going to really drive up the value, because there's such an illiquid supply available right now. There's near record lows of Bitcoin on exchange, and nobody's willing to sell at the moment. So I think it's setting up for an astronomically incredible bull run. But that doesn't mean to go leverage long every time there's a $100 dip. All
right, so that was a long word salad way of not giving me a percentage here.
Oh.
What is the percentage, Kelly?
In what time frame? Over the course of the week?
What's that daily candle? What's that one candle?
One candle.
You saw the news. You
Right.
took a nap. You wake up. It's 2 hours old. How much higher are we?
And all of them get approved?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all 14 all at once simultaneously. You got Ark Invest.
35%.
No way. 35? Okay, 35. Yeah. I'm going to say 20. It's not that far apart. Drew, what's your percentage gain here? What's that God candle looking like?
I was like, I still am doubting that we're going to get it, just because I'm salty again. The U.S. government confiscated gold in 1933.
Stop manifesting your negative Nancy views here.
Okay,
I'm giving you a hypothetical,
right.
which I know is lying
30%.
to your brain.
If we do get it, 30%. But
30?
We
Okay.
confiscated 1933. We allowed futures gold in 1974. It took 50 years to get a spot gold
All right,
ETF.
so I'm coming in at 20. Chat, what do you think? We got 14 ETFs all approved. What is that Bitcoin pump going to look like? We got Kelly coming in 35%, Drew coming in 30%. I'm going to say 20%. maybe a little bit higher. All right, let's back to the Bitcoin Fidelity ETF here. So, all right, so Fidelity essentially made some amendments. Analysts, they're kind of reading between the lines here. They're saying these amendments show that the SEC is holding active discussions with related parties. So once here's Fidelity, they got this thing, they filled it out. You're like, here's my ETF, and all of a sudden they got passed back the ball. And it's almost like there's written instructions, and they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this and do that, and then they gave it back. Everyone's saying that's clear that the SEC is communicating here, and if they would not communicate unless approval was likely, or they're trying to work these companies into an approval, a big part of this process is, I heard Larry Fink. I'm doing a lot of research on Larry Fink, and here's Larry Fink's assessment with these ETFs. It will be approved because they're trying to do all the right things. They are trying their best to cross the T's and dot the I's and the J's here. They're working with NASDAQ for surveillance, so, they don't want a lot of manipulation. They're working with, a big partner for custody that is publicly traded, so, kind of got a green light there. And this is all setting up for an inevitable green light, an inevitable approval. When will it be? That is the question. I think the answer is yes, it is going to happen. The real question is, when is it going to happen?
So, DZ, I got to show you, I have to substantiate, because I was just literally throwing a number out there, but let's look at the chart really quick.
Oh, God, it better not be 35% on some previous thing.
I look at the charts all day long. Here is, if we got, and I'm not even saying the candle would close there, I think that we would get roughly a 35%. Remember, if all of them are approved at once, and then on this chart you can see where we're at right now. Let's say it happened at this moment. The 35% would take us directly to that upper trend line of resistance. So, again, that doesn't mean it's just going to go complete rocket ship from there on and on. I do think there's going to be some volatility trading back.
Here's an interesting theory. We can watch this, and maybe next week and 2 weeks from now, we continue to watch to see if the price stays within 35% of that rising line. So meaning it would, basically be moving up in relation to that line there. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin, and then I might throw some of this back at Kelly so he can basically dumb this down for us. Bitcoin changing hand cycle signals bear market recovery, according to Glassnode. I want them to show the chart here. All right, yes. Recent report examines how Bitcoin changes hands between investors over time. It tracks the ebb and flow of coins from long-term holders to short-term speculators. Okay, they call this the realized capital to measure the total amount paid historically. All right, so here we go, the realized capital rotation, 6 months to 3 years, 6 month, 3 year capital lows at bull cycle high, 6 months, 3 year. Okay, so here we have the orange bear cycle lows. Okay, a lot going on here. Kelly, is this kind of matching what we're experiencing right now? So you can see right here, I think this is the key metric right here. We got this heading down, and we got the orange heading up. Let's just look back last time that happened. Green heading down, let's just go ahead and say that the orange heading up. I would say right around here, that was, take away the COVID crash, that was kind of setting up the first phase of that bear run, or bull market. I like to just, take away COVID, this is a straight line, right? It's maybe like a little chop suey there. So if we were starting here and you draw a straight line, that's bullish. It's just COVID screws that up.
I mean, one of my favorite things about trading and investing in Bitcoin is the absolute transparency. And
are you talking about like the orange is translucent?
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
Translucent on the charts. No, but you can see. If you don't know what to do, learn. First thing I would really suggest anybody learning is on-chain data, because you can see the relationship of essentially smart money and dumb money. You can see the relationship. Who holds 1,000+ Bitcoin? Who's just, basically weak hands? Strong hands versus weak hands will give you a great idea about where market cycle tops are and market cycle bottoms. Come to this chart real quick as well, Drew. This is a reserve risk. You can find this free on lookintobitcoin.com, reserve risk. This metric right here is measuring that ratio of short-term holders to long-term holders, essentially. The short-term holders to the HODL bank. When this is very low, you're very low, basically great risk-adjusted sort of investment because of where we're at in terms of long-term holders holding and the short-term holders are capitulated. Up here, it's all short-term holders, meaning there's no strength in the market because you got a bunch of weak hands buying the hype. So this is a great article you brought up there, and it's a really great metric for you all to follow. Long-term holders versus short-term holders.
All right, well, here's another awesome metric, total asset classes by market cap here. So we're going to be looking at everything here, like whether it's a Tesla stock or gold. So let's check this out here. Bitcoin coming in at lucky number 13, folks. It is now half of silver. So they're coming in at 13, ranked at 555 billion. This is places it between Visa, which is 14, and Eli Lilly, which is number 12. All right, let's just go into the chart here because I'll have to click on the actual site here. Go ahead. All right, scroll. Close your eyes. All right, here we go. So we have Bitcoin coming in. It's number 13. I want to move this yet one more time. I guess that's fine. Bitcoin, then Eli Lilly. Visa has now dropped from 14. It was 14. Now it's coming in at 15. All right, Berkshire Hathaway, Tesla. Now we're in the top 10. All right, now we got Sweet Baby Ray's Overlord, Meta Platforms, NVIDIA, Silver. All right, here we got Silver. Silver coming in at $1.3 trillion. Next, Amazon. We want to throw out any guesses. What do we not have yet? We don't have, we just got Amazon. We don't have Microsoft. We don't have gold. Any other guesses? What are we missing here? I don't know. Saudi Aramco might be on here as well. Let's keep scrolling. Google. Oh man, I feel like a dummy. Google, of course, coming in at 1.8 trillion if we round up. Next, number 4 asset in the world, Saudi Aramco. Drew's gone. We have BJ. BJ, you probably know too. Just want to give a sentence. What is Saudi Aramco?
Oh, I have no clue.
Okay, it is
Oil?
the state-ran oil company for Saudi Arabia, the world's second largest oil producer
they're
and number
not
1
in
exporter,
OPEC?
I believe. That's a changing stat.
This is the question. They're not an OPEC, correct?
No, they're not in OPEC, but they almost match OPEC's power, and they also are closely aligned. But we don't even hear about OPEC like we used to do in the 90s. Why? I blame the war on terror. All right, keep scrolling. All right, now we got Microsoft. Okay, I know gold. We got 2 left. Gold and what else? Any guesses? Chat. Alibaba, BlackRock, Aloha, Apple. It's Apple, folks. Apple number 2. Number 2 is Apple. And then we have gold coming in at number 3. Guys, did you realize gold was essentially 5x Apple there? I had no idea. Did you?
No, I didn't, but it's an interesting comparison between Apple because there's so many different references to when Bitcoin reaches gold's market cap. And if we think of that in context of Apple's, one of the most, is it the most profitable company on earth?
Well, profitable
Or
is
revenue?
Yeah, not by percentage, but by by sheer
so
numbers. Yeah,
that's interesting that, if Bitcoin, I don't want to say if, when Bitcoin reaches the market cap currently of gold, there's going to be obviously a sort of tectonic shift within global markets because obviously leading up to that means there's a huge amount of wealth and capital that has been moving into gold. It's going to be interesting to see how that affects gold's market cap or if they're both used equally as a hedge.
All right. Well, speaking of Apple, let's segue into the short clip. We'll head back and we'll do the X minute later. I'm only going to play about maybe half a minute here. This is just a politician. It's a masterclass on how to handle, let's just say, not accurate reporting here. So this is a biased reporter. Just the swag of the Apple. What do you mean by that? Like what?
Give me an example.
I don't know. Lie. Wrong. Anyways, well. What people? Okay. Name one. Well, yeah, you're the one who's saying it, buddy. All right, yeah, just a masterclass there. I thought that was
This
pretty
reminds me
entertaining.
of when Elon Musk had the interview with the BBC reporter.
Yep.
And he's saying all these things. Okay,
There's a rise of hate. There's a rise of hate.
Give me one example of a post.
Well, a lot of people are saying it, Kelly.
Yeah.
Well,
name one.
Well, I feel like I don't have to name one when all these other organizations are saying it's on the rise.
But what about your views on how the right wing?
Well, it's your views that are under fire here, Elon. It's your views. Yeah. It was a great interview. Claudio with the $20 super chat. I have $35 to pay my credit cards, or should I invest in crypto? What would you do? If it's $35, make your minimum payment on your credit card, right? If it's $35K, why do you have that much credit card debt? If it's $35, you pay your credit card debt. Here's the deal. Benjamin Franklin, I believe, said he would rather live destitute than ever have to borrow money. Meaning, like, he would never even borrow money to own a house. He would just, like, live in a cardboard box until he can upgrade to, like, a Gulfstream trailer or something like that.
And I would argue, unless you absolutely don't have any ability to have any other capital to pay more, do not pay the minimums on any loan or debt that you have, because even if you have a $10,000 credit card and your minimums are $110 a month, you're going to end up paying $25,000 or $30,000 if you pay the minimums. Don't do that. Pay the stuff down. Skip the coffee at Starbucks. DZ does fine. I see him in here in the morning having 2 hard-boiled eggs and a cup of black coffee. You can do the small things to trim the areas in your life so you don't put yourself in a destitute situation because you're paying for basically the vacations for these big bankers.
Well, let me push back. It's actually not normal black coffee. It's conflict beans picked by migrant children hands. So I pay a premium for my coffee. I'm just kidding. Yeah. So just one of the many things I do to reduce my costs. Yeah, I lower my food costs. Food costs is one of the things that could really, really escalate. I think the Canadian videos over grocery bills definitely would lend some credence to that. All right, what do we got? DZ looks hungry, though. Well, man, I only ate 2 hard-boiled eggs. I got to buy that 1.2 chain link. Then I can go from 3.3 to 4.5. BlackRock is the #1 asset management firm. The weird thing about BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard is, like, they all kind of own each other.
Yeah.
And, like, then it's like this weird philosophical question, like, who owns what and what owns anything?
Yeah, like even BlackRock, they have, in a way, they have ultimately a huge amount of control throughout the U.S. because of how many different companies that they have a sizable enough ownership of, so that they have basically voting and direction on the board of those different companies. So it's really crazy how much of these things are interwoven, and it's I don't even want to get into it. It's a whole nother. That's a Druth episode right there.
Speaking of whole, eggs bad for your prostate. What are you? I'm not shoving them. I'm eating them. What are you talking about? All right, let's talk about Edward Snowden here. Whistleblower Edward Snowden issues a warning. Says spot Bitcoin ETF a form of subjugation by TradFi here. Famed whistleblower thinks crypto community should be wary of a spot-based ETF. This was at the Bitcoin Amsterdam event last year, and the NSA contractor and CIA employee warned us about letting traditional finance gain power over Bitcoin. I think we need to remember that, particularly in these moments of instability, we're all part of a much bigger game, and Bitcoin is one of the strongest levers in that. The systems that we are influencing and that we are exerting leverage on, payments and finance, will shape what the world of tomorrow looks like. Now we have to cross some hurdles to get there in a meaningful way. The final deadline is January 10th. But guys, there's always like in review, and then, we got to kick it back. And then, we put the ball back in their court. Now it's in our court, and we got another 30 days. So the January thing is, I think there's another 60 delay on top of that. So I think it's actually March. Let's see. After something like 7 years of no payments, credit card companies dropped debt collections. Mike Bennett, that is a great strategy if you want to pay cash for everything. Not everybody has that ability. So, like, some people might have a car breakdown and they're going to have a car payment. So it's for a unique situation. I did have a guy basically espouse that. He was an 80-year-old guy that worked at ADT. He was like dripped in gold. He had retired, bought everything cash, every vehicle he buys cash. He has never paid the IRS. He said it was only illegal to not file. It's not illegal to not pay. And he was in really, really bad debt. The worst credit in the world, but he was very wealthy. I eat olives and drink Ouza. Okay.
I mean, isn't it illegal? I mean, I remember Wesley Snipes got snapped on that for...
So that was the fraud case, I think. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so don't piss off the tax man. All right, let's talk about Bank of America. Speaking of tax man, that James Zong Bitcoin documentary on CNBC dropped yesterday. Well, I might talk about that at the end. All right, let's talk about Bank of America here. Bank of America unrealized losses top a record $131 billion. High interest rates a saving grace. They've reported unrealized losses of $131 billion on securities in the third quarter, growing 25% from the second quarter. Their paper losses have been under scrutiny since the collapse of several U.S. banks earlier this year. It's no longer a story now, but we had a lot of debt issued at a cheap price, and then we had the government essentially leaning on these companies, say, hey, you got to buy it, you got to buy it, you got to buy it. Give us $100, and then after 10 years, you're going to have $105. Doesn't that sound good? The banks are like, not really. Well, you got to do it. And so the banks were basically strong-armed into this position where they had to take on a bunch of bad investments. This is Bank of America's numbers. They're down tens of billions of dollars, folks. Here we could see America's second largest bank with $2.5 trillion in total assets could be forced to sell these bonds at a loss if depositors want their money in a hurry. And if they have to sell these at a loss, it's going to push the price further down, which then will create other people have to sell at a loss, and it could be a debt spiral. Moreover, analysts say it's highly unlikely they would sell at a loss. This is because the lender has strong liquidity with consumer deposits and higher capital, according to Reuters. So, hey, they got enough money to weather the storm, said FTX.
Well,
Maybe Bank of America, it's true, though.
Well, I will say, and I'll put it here in chat. This there's this thread on Twitter is
Not Mike Jack.
sorry, on X right here, CoinGraph at CoinGraph News. I just put it. I'm Tim today in the chat. This really goes through. It's like 45 different points talking about the Evergrande collapse and how that actually is tied in with J.P. Morgan, with Japanese yen trying to put money into, the Japanese government trying to put money into the commercial real estate, and how all these sectors are really setting up for a pretty catastrophic global event. So I definitely recommend everybody just go and read through this, because it really highlights a lot of the issues that's happening within the global banking system right now, and why Bitcoin is the damn answer.
It is always the answer. It is always the answer. I'm trying to... All right, here we go. I'm just getting the next article ready here. All right, let's also talk about oil. The oil boys, we're the oily boys. Oil and gold prices surge as conflict in the Middle East continues. Oil and gold soared higher on Wednesday following the attack on a Gaza hospital that maybe killed hundreds. I don't know. There's videos today where it looks like it just hit a parking lot. I don't even know what's real, so I'm not even going to try to give any opinion on this. The crude rose nearly 3%, and meanwhile, gold bullion added over 1%, climbing closer and closer to $2,000 per ounce. Now they're coming in at $19.44. U.S. bond market's shaky. Is there strategic balance tipping? I think a large part of this is Bank of America's numbers. So now people are seeing, ooh, some of these large banks are in considerable losses. Then they're looking at their own balance sheet of treasuries like, should I sell it before Bank of America sells it and lowers the price even further? So let's hope we can, economy is mostly confidence-based, so let's just hope we're confident that we'll make it. You know, I think we just passed 50% of analysts say we're not going to have a recession now.
We're in shaky, sort of uncharted territories, because, you know, when have we ever printed $24 trillion since 2008? That's never happened before, you know, so...
Wait, George Washington and the Founding Fathers, they didn't do that?
No, I mean, not even on a percentage basis. So it's like, where we're at right now it's very hard for anybody. It's very uncertain with what's going on, global economically. So it really is. Try to find those areas that you can really invest your due diligence in and figure out where you can strategically. It's like playing chess right now. It really is. And so you really need to figure out how you can strategize your portfolio to not only perform well, but also hedge against it and move money because when something starts, the dominoes start to fall. If that does happen, it's going to be hard and it's going to be quite quick. So just protect yourself is all I gotta say about that.
Oily boys. Hitting the like button is like filing assault charges on me for hitting it too hard. Jeremiah, you got to hit it harder next time. I want a broken keyboard, okay? I want pictures of the broken keyboard. You do that, we'll mail you another one. Watching the show, completely. Hey, I'm glad you got the stops in place, shake and bake, because that's how you don't get shaked out of the markets here. All right, let's talk about X and their little experiment they're doing to stop spam and bots here. They're test charging $1 and a battle against spam and bots. They're going to roll this out to new users in New Zealand and the Philippines in a bid to tackle spam bots. They're going to test this out and see if it works. So it's going to be an annual fee of $1, and the community reacts, claiming a dollar fee is insufficient to deter the S-coin spammers who do make significant profits. I think it's going to be more about having a bank account. I think the spammers have $1. I don't think they want to link accounts when there's going to be criminal activity. I think it's more going to be for the criminal activity. Random rug pulls by idiots, that's still going to happen. But when you see these like highly sophisticated phishing attempts and Vitalik gets hacked and Mark Cuban's get hacked, these are the people that are going to have to pay $1. They're going to have to link a bank account. I wouldn't do that if I'm scamming people.
Well, here's a random question for you. If
Here's a random answer.
Elon's trying to make X the everything app,
Yes.
isn't this a nice way to get adoption where you go ahead and link a bank account, you go ahead and sudo KYC and be like, oh, since you've already done this.
That was a huge push. Yeah, I'm reading the book now. The main reason they went into subscription-based was for that exact reason, BJ. You're exactly right. They wanted to get that bank account information, and then if they do roll up, hey, like a Robinhood Coinbase feature or just some sort of Apple Pay feature, oh, hey, it's already linked. I just got to like hit one button instead of typing in account number, route number, okay, here's my bank, and here's the zip code. So it's already just all there. It's less friction.
Well,
Crypto's ROs got taken down.
Yeah.
What?
Check that out.
Yeah, if you want to check that out while I look at. All right, so again, this is only going to be in New Zealand. It's only going to be in the Philippines. It's only going to be $1 for a user here. So the new program aims to defend against bots and spammers. We'll see how it works. I think there's a chance. It's not so much the dollar. Yeah, people will pay $1. It's the linking of an official account. I think that's going to be the deterrent there. Tech giants gained $2.4 trillion from AI in 2023. This is from the Euroscape
It's
report.
down. Cryptos R Us. This page is
Share
available.
his. Wow. Why'd they take down Cryptos R Us? We are George. I am George. Type in George in the chat. We got to show some support to George. I know George is trying to do that karate combat thing.
Yeah, and I know I've seen it in the past too. This is where the power of the social network really comes in. I think George is absolutely, I mean, he's such a strong component of the crypto ecosystem. I've been watching him for years as well. Bright guy, wonderful community. Drop something on Twitter, tag his on his X profile, tag him.
Yeah, I'm
Tag
sharing his
YouTube as
X
well.
profile right now here, and he hasn't even tweeted about it. So this is fresh. So this is his last tweet 1 hour ago. He had a stream. Let's just see. We click on it. What? Wow. All right. So yeah, let's show a little support. George. I am George. Toaster's George. Brad is George. We're all George. Alexander G. Hey, the G stands for George. All right, it all comes together now. All right, keep moving forward here. What do we got? All right, so the tech giants, they got the big boom from AI. I mean, we just go over the numbers real quick. We have Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Amazon. They rose 36% for Amazon here. So everybody adding up a little bit of money. NVIDIA currently worth over the trillion, yeah. All right, evidence shows Bankman-Fried and Associates gave almost $250 million to friends, family, politicians, PACs, and special interests here. Can't grow a beard, neither can I. His own donation list details more than $133 million in spending, primarily made up of $120 million in political donations. Let's see, Cory Booker got, I mean, I like how they're saying, yeah, you know, he made $120 million in political donations. And then what does the article do? Immediately list a couple Republicans getting $5,000. So yeah, his dad and his brother are getting blank checks. If you follow the court case yesterday, the CTO, I'm blanking on his name right now. He took the stand and he had to sign blank checks. You know where the blank checks went to? Sam Bankman-Fried's brother for effective altruism blank checks. So they just give it to these NGOs. And so that's political donations reach $120 million. But let's really focus on Mitt Romney getting $5K. Right? That doesn't make much sense to me. So what is this? Crypto slate, Mike Dalton. Your bias is very clear, Mike Dalton. You should be ashamed, Mike Dalton. That was not good, Mike Dalton. I'm going to say your name one more time. You piss all over the name of Dalton. You know who Dalton is? Dalton to me is Roadhouse.
Yeah.
That's Roadhouse. You don't deserve the name Dalton.
Wait, what are the 5 best rappers of all time? Dalton.
I don't get that at all,
The
DJ.
Dylon reference.
What?
Oh.
What?
It's a Chappelle Show reference from back in the day.
Okay. I've seen them all. I'm still not getting that one there. Oh yeah. Oh my God. He had that one line. Up on me or something like that. Oh my God. Just get it about boo. Yeah, it's the real world. He was making fun of the real world. All right, that was a good reference, BJ, but it was too obscure.
It was a deep cut.
It was a deep cut. All right, gifts to friends and family. Okay, so record donations include transfers between family members. The largest was the $10 million gift to Joseph Bankman. We covered that. That's when he snitched to his mom, right? He's like, hey, I'm gonna tell mom if you don't give me a raise, son. And then someone's like, all right, here's $10 million, don't tell mom. I don't know, but that's Sam Bankman-Fried's message was. I like to think that's what it was.
It's easy to write blank checks when you essentially have the system engineered to where you basically can withdraw as much as you want with no limit.
Yeah. And speaking of blank checks, so we have the CTO writing his brother blank checks. Well, Sam Bankman-Fried hid most of the money. Sam Bankman only gave his brother $2 million. He was having the employees give his brothers more money, probably because the last names match. Probably not good optics. So I get it. I get your little game plan there, Joseph. I don't think it was Sam's idea. So here's another entry showed Sam sent $2 million to his brother. His brother donated $17 million to Guarding Against Pandemic. No, it looks like Sam did that. A group co-founded by Gabe Bankman-Fried. So, his brother, hey, look, they just want to do effective altruism. You know what I mean? They want to buy mosquito nets. Other attached lists bring it to 230. Nasheed, he carried out $72 million in donations here. Caroline Ellison, almost $20 million in gifts and donations. They contributed. They also donated, or not donated. They invested in Anthropic. Looks like that kind of got pumped up there. Singh suggested that they donated $500 million to Anthropic overall, alongside billions spent on other celebrity endorsements. Here we have another FTX US is $1.7 million in political donations here. Hey, $150K went to Patrick McHenry, so less 9% went to Patrick McHenry. So let's go ahead and once again bring up the right-leaning politician there while skirting over the other millions there. So just such an interesting article. Mike Dalton, good job there. Let's see, Nasheed Singh. Okay, so that was the guy that I was talking about earlier. Nasheed Singh is the one who wrote the blank checks for his brother there. And he's out there, he's spilling the beans. This saga continues. From last I heard, originally it was projected to end November 9th. Now they've curtailed it a little. They're kind of moving 1 or 2 days ahead of time. Looks like this is going to go until November 7th / November 8th. And it's going to be the defense on the tail end. But right now the prosecution, they're almost done. The prosecution's almost done. We don't know what George did. We don't know what George did. We are George, though. We are all George. We're hoping George gets that handled. YouTube, come on, figure it out. Now let's talk about Joe. Not Biden, Joe Bankman-Fried. SBF's dad is in the crosshairs as defense tries to blame ex-lawyers. Here you can see him with the neck skin of one of Drew's chickens there. All right, following...
Senator Palpatine.
Okay, yeah, Palpatine vibes. I get some Palpatine vibes. Definitely get Ghislaine Maxwell vibes here.
I would say Tarkin.
Is this an ad for Metamucil?
No, this is yogurt. Congrats, I pooped myself. No. Okay, let's see. Following testimony from Ellison and Gary Wang, Singh faces cross-examination. However, Bankman's attorney's efforts to discredit him may be throwing the defendant's dad under the bus. From the reporters that were inside the courtroom, supposedly, was it yesterday or the day before, when Singh was on stand and he started bringing up Sam Bankman-Fried's parents, they said the parents were nervous. They're noticeably upset. They're noticeably fidgeting. They're freaking out. They don't like the spotlight. Joe and Barbara don't like the spotlight, nor does his brother Gabe. These 3 people should not get away with this. I do say that. Joseph Bankman-Fried, he was caught in the crossfire. You get caught up in the crossfire. So keep scrolling here. In an attempt to discredit Singh, I'm sorry to bastardize the notes like that, Kelly. You can hit it better, right?
No, you got it.
Oh, I nailed it.
I believe in you. Yeah.
All right, maybe he'll do it next time, folks. He was a singer, so he's shy. Kelly's shy. He's embarrassed.
Gotta be in the right context, you know.
No. Well, he doesn't want to be the dancing monkey. Now I respect that. All right, I'll do it all day, Kelly. All right, Bankman-Fried's lawyers drew attention to a $477 million Singh took. They asked him who he consulted with before taking this loan, in a nod to the defense's previewed strategy to shift the blame to the legal counsel. However, his answer may have given the defense more than they bargained for. So the defense, Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyers, they're like, oh, we got the Singh guy on the ropes. We got him on the ropes. We're going to hit him with the 1-2 combo. All right, so tell us about the $500 million. It was the lawyers, wasn't it? We got him. And then he's like, No, it was Sam's dad. And they're like, oh, no, he wasn't supposed to say that. He said the quiet part out loud. I love every time that SBS lawyers try to get his old lawyers in trouble, that his dad is also involved. We love inner city press. They've been just crushing it lately. Cohen. All right, so you got cash bonuses of 1 to 2 million Sing. Yeah, I think that's right. And loans, let me give you the foundation. You borrowed $500 million from FTX. Well, in a sense, SBS lawyers, so as to buy equity in FTX. Well, my first, you said it was to donate to charity. Yeah. Well, did you ever do that? No. So you consulted with the lawyer? You know, they're trying to blame it on the lawyer. Nah, man, I consulted with his dad. Oh, why did he say that? Why did he say that? So yeah, Joe's on the ropes right now. You also received a loan. You want to give to your parents and others. Some amount was donated. So interesting court
If
case.
there's one thing I've learned about this world, and if everybody has seen some form of like crime documentary or show, CSI, and also social media now, the truth will come out no matter what it is. So do things in line with truth, and you're not going to have any issue. And that's how I operate.
All right, here we have unconfirmed rumor, but this is breaking news. So we're going to pull the coin telegraph, and I'm going to spread it, which could be misinformation. Gada Life is saying Crypto Queen was trashing George on YouTube. I have a feeling she is involved. Then he has a strong opinion about the type of content she makes.
Jerry.
Okay, all right. Have yet to see anyone do effective altruism without robbing people and lining their pockets effectively as well. All right. Here's the ZK Sync. We're gonna throw some meat to the ZK Sync, people. Microsoft ZK Sync joined forces to unlock Web3's potential. Microsoft's former head of global Web3 business development and AI has joined the Matters Labs team to strengthen the Aero ecosystem. So they got a big executive here. I would say that's pretty good. So the veteran has embraced their solutions here, and he's joined them. So, all right, so they got a good hire. Or not. I don't know. Sorry, Johnny. Maybe that guy's a terrible employee. We don't know. But probably a good get. I don't think they would be promoting it unless it was a good thing there. Ethereum L2 ZK EVM protocol Scroll launches to mainnet. So anybody in Scroll, not Elder Scrolls, but in the coin Scroll, that's good news for you as well. All right, let's see. Ethereum LD. I don't want to do too much Ethereum news here. There's a lot of it. All right, Ethereum LSD Fi.
Nice.
Yeah, you tripping? All right, sector grew nearly 60x since January in the post-Chappella surge. What the heck does this mean? This is the liquid staking derivatives finance. Not like you're tripping balls, man. You know, it's not like you're in the San Francisco brothel as the CIA is secretly dosing you. I'm not talking about that. No, I'm talking about liquid staking derivatives finance, y'all. And seen a surge despite withdrawals being enabled. The report from Crypto Data at CoinGecko says the sector has grown 60x. Yeah, a lot of people didn't want to stake because the withdrawal date was question mark. And then as soon as they saw the withdrawal date, like, yeah, well, there's a queue. Now it's 45 days. Now it's 4.5 days. Now it's like 10 minutes. Now that there's an actual destination, people are a lot more comfortable staking their funds there. So liquid staking derivatives, keep an eye out on that ecosystem. All right, well, ProShares to launch a short Ether strategy in November. Not exactly what we want to see, but it's poised to launch early November, just a few weeks after the initial Ethereum's futures ETF's debut. So it adds to my theory here. Kelly, let me know what you think here. This might be buy the rumor, sell the news. Because if this Ethereum spot ETF is all of a sudden launched, you know, there's going to be a lot of bullish narrative. What do they say? Weeks later, the short ETF, just a few weeks after, is poised to launch just a few weeks after. So just be careful because, yeah, big money. Man, they got this ETF for ETH, man, it's going to be big. And then meanwhile, big money's pouring it into the short ETF.
Well, also, you know, you have
Careful.
the context of the data points that come with it. There was a pretty underwhelming response when the Bitcoin futures ETF launched. Sorry, not Bitcoin, Ethereum futures ETF launched. It was, you know, obviously, of course, it has some context to where the market is at right now and lack of engagement. So if the short thing comes in, just like you said, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, let's drive this down, that actually creates a pretty scary narrative.
Yeah. Well, speaking of scary narratives, ETH staking. All-time low. No, not that kind of scary. It's actually happening, BJ. Ethereum staking rewards plunge to new lows. Is it still worth it to stake your ETH? To me, this is more of a healthy APY. It's now 3.5%. The highest it was when it first launched. It was 18. It pretty quickly dropped. Looks like we could maybe see a chart here. No, orange line is the percentage there. Okay. Yeah, so a little bit lower, but even back in September, August, I mean, it was only like around 4.5%. So it is dropped, but you know, it's not that much. Careful when you see numbers like this. It's a 60% drop. Yeah, because it went from like 6% to 3.5%. Don't think it's like, you know, huge discrepancy there. Wait, they were making 63% staking? No, that's not what that means. All right, meme coins that are ripe for the picking following a $3.2 billion crash. We've talked about this. Look, I do think Doge is going to get closer to 50 cents. What's your prediction? Dollar? Are you hitting $1 2 years from now?
I mean, this is why it's such an interesting asset, because there's such a strong community around it, but the inflation is incredibly high on it, but it's also poised to potentially take a huge, pump of mentals into account when you're looking at this for analysis, if it does get integrated with payments on X. So, I mean, I don't know. For me, this is a very, very, very small percentage sort of allocation for anybody if they have it in their portfolio. So honestly, I don't know. 75 cents, I'll say that.
Okay, 75 cents. Then they also have Shiba Inu. Then they also have Pepe. I can see all three doing a 10x, but I wouldn't be surprised if all three barely did a 2x. I actually would be surprised if Doge only did a 2x. 5 best rappers alive. You just started it, BJ.
I know.
Come on, be my baby tonight. Shee-ba-da-ba-dee-doo-be-da-be-da-ba-ba-dee-doo. Come on, be my lady tonight. The quick backstory, 10-second explanation. They had the real world where it's like, all right, you know, we're going to put the camera in front of you. Just say your name and where you're from. Hi, I'm BJ. I'm from it. Hey, I'm Kelly. I'm from it. Hey, I'm DZ. I'm from it. And then they put it to him. He's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Oh, kind of. What do you say? No, man. I'm like really into jazz and scat, so I'm going to do my own thing. No, man. Like, you literally just have to say, no, come on, be my baby tonight. What the are you doing, dude? Like, you literally just have to say your name. And so that's the backstory on that, and that's why Dave Chappelle made fun of the guy. It's pretty funny. This is for like 3% of the viewers are getting it. And yeah, it's
Worth it.
It was worth it. It was worth it. All right, D by DX. I might just skip that. Won't profit from V4. It becomes a public benefit corporation. Okay. Sweet. Now it's time to talk Sweet. Smash or pass. Sweet hits all-time low. Despite total value locked, all-time high. Top 100 status in jeopardy? So it looks like it hit 36 cents total, but the TVL is hitting 59 million. That's really not going to melt any faces anywhere. It's fallen significantly since the all-time high of $1.50. In 167 days, it has fallen 76%. It's increased significantly since August. All right, well, do we have, we have the CoinGecko. Let's look at some of the stats here, folks. No, I don't want to learn the definition of the word total. Thank you. It's a cereal. I know what it is. All right, so we have market cap coming in at 321 million. Fully diluted, it's more than a 10x. That is right. Less than 9% of the tokens are out. 8.6% of the tokens are out. Less than 10%. Honestly, for that reason alone, it has to be a pass.
That's a lot of headwinds.
Yeah, it's a pass for me. You could tell me, no, man, they have this awesome plan. It's going to be 140 years before all the tokens are released. That isn't enough. People are going to see the supply, and they're just going to be turned away. So for me, it's a VC coin. You know, I think I'm invested in enough VC coins. I don't need to invest in more VC coins, even though VC coins could be one of the best performing asset classes. I'm going to pass on this one. What about you two? Chat, you two as well. Pass or smash on Sweet?
I'll pass.
Your pass?
Yeah.
BJ? Absolutely pass. I mean, 10% being out is absurd.
Yeah, absurd. It's 8.6%. So, I mean, you go from like a 10x to a 12x, like real quick as far as the supply.
You're talking about Doge not making it 50 cents again because of the emission schedule. This is correlated to that. Well, not directly the two coins, but meaning.
You know, that is a good question. Doge is inflationary. I don't even know if they have the final. It could be like Infinity, kind of like Ethereum is, or Ether, I should more say here. Let's see.
No, let me clarify though too, because you said smash or pass.
It grows.
I'm passing absolutely on investing, but this, I mean, it is something. If somebody wanted to trade it, it's something only to be in and out of, looking for 15 to 30% pump kind of thing. I would not be. I want this to build a bit of a base level on the price action before and see some development come out and actually stand some test of time, because as it stands right now, it's basically massive God candle pump on the first day, and then it's just been retracing all the way down from that since its launch. So again, it's not exciting to me for a long-term hold.
Yeah, Doge is infinite in supply. I mean, it is an inflationary token with no insight anywhere. Someone could tell me, what is that daily emission? Is it 100 million, 10 million, 5 million?
It's high because you can do, I can't remember the metric. I did some content on it a while back. It's 21 million total Bitcoin ever, right? You could do, there's more of that printed within every 3 weeks. I could be completely wrong there, but it's astronomically high comparatively with another asset in the space. Bitcoin has a lot less risk and a lot more absolute finalized and programmed understanding of what's happening with that project. So
the first thing that pops up on Google says 1.44 million. And
Okay.
The Reddit thread says 14 million.
Okay, so someone carried the decimal
There's a slight
incorrectly.
discrepancy there.
Yeah, 1.4 to 14. It's 1.4 million or 14 million probably. Someone said 10K every minute. Rain Man, what's that math? I'm just kidding. All right, let's get into the X minute. I got spaces in a short fuse, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're in maybe 10 minutes early. All right, let's go. I showed you the politician eating the apple masterclass yet again. Here we talked about the Moon token. I kind of want to just share some of this what we see here. So this is from Reddit itself. Hey, we made the decision to sunset the points. You're no longer able to get points in your Reddit vault, nor will you earn more points. Why are we doing this? Well, look, the environment has added scalability limitations. So the number one reason, regulatory uncertainty. Number two, start rolling out an improved experience. So wouldn't migrate well to that updated experience, meaning we have plans for Reddit v3, and it just doesn't fit in our plan. And then moving away from those allows us to have products like Contributor Program where we get 50% of the revenue. So people are understandably a little upset about that. So that's what, just Reddit in their own words. All right, Ada Whale, if you want to pitch for Cardano DeFi, it's a little too long for me to read, so I'll just read the bullet points here. He has, six reasons why Cardano DeFi is being slept on. Guys, I've been telling you about Cardano DeFi for over a year. In fact, if we go here, how long ago? This was my second video too. How long ago was this? Telling you about Cardano DeFi over a year ago. So I've been sounding the bells for 13 months at least. All right, so number one, chain aspect. So basically, hey, has it been hacked? All right, so Cardano has it been hacked. All right, so we've got the chain. The chain itself.
You hear that, Johnny? I was making sure Johnny heard you say that.
What? Because he wears chains?
No, because he loves Ethereum.
Oh, okay. Number two, large and growing investment universe. I will say there's almost, it feels like zero VC bucks in there, but now the tide is starting to turn, including the book. Hey, you know who's in that? Mark Cuban. So we're going from zero to potentially hero. It's not like it's in a downtrend with VC money. It was already scraping the bottom. And now we're starting to see a little uptick. Will that turn into like a J curve? We don't know. Yield markets, economically sound. All right. Uncollateralized lending, circular economy, and yield curve. So this is basically like the smart Ben Cowan people are going to get excited by this. Sharded whole chain order book. The people who are like, yeah, but like you can't handle like a video game's amount of transactions. This will get you excited. Multi-asset ledger facilitates portfolio management. Here it's just more chain stuff. It can do just kind of more unique things in its native token format. And then sophisticated trading strategies. Thinking batching transactions, then, kind of tying into number one and number five there. Here, just Chainlink bullshit. What'd you think of that assessment, BJ? You're Mr. Cardano.
I like it, and some of the new stuff I've been playing around with is with Dex Hunter, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about that.
Stop loss, but I highly recommend checking out CardanoCube.io and TapTools.io. This is a booming ecosystem. Whether Cardano will be the next layer one or not is questionable. And as a massive ADA maxi, I still have my questions about certain things, but you have a lot of forward momentum with everything. We saw DeFi summer in 2020/2021 for Ethereum last time, and it seems like Cardano's in a very similar position. So you get the TVL up, get people going to that ecosystem. There's some promise there.
All right, Make It Right says XRP is king. You definitely want to watch ATB's last night. We talk about the Ripple IPO. It was a great topic. All right, Chainlink doesn't tokenize assets. So why is everyone talking about Chainlink in relation to RWAs? I'm guilty of this. I kind of, say, look, it is a XRP versus Ether battle here. We got Ripple Labs versus Ethereum Foundation. They're going to try to basically make all the inroads here. Well, a win for Ethereum is a win for Chainlink. So why is Chainlink a good thing when it comes to tokenizing assets when it doesn't actually tokenize assets? Let's look at the baseline thesis here. There will be many, many blockchains in the world. I think we all agree with that.
What is that, the ship of?
If you agree with that, you should look into Chainlink because it's out leak. I think it might be wrong, but basically, it wants to just tie in with everybody. So if you agree with the thesis that there will be a lot of chains, maybe look into Chainlink. Oh, wait, it's in the name. EA Sports. All right, here we have one more. What if BlackRock needs? This one I thought was just a pretty cool little thing here. We'll end with this. What if BlackRock needs Bitcoin more than Bitcoin needs BlackRock? Here is the relative low for the BlackRock compared to the S&P 500. So this is relative to the S&P 500. They're looking not so great, folks. So they're used to, hey, we outperform the markets. Now they're not. And so maybe they need to look at something else.
Hey,
maybe they need
They
Bitcoin.
are the world's largest asset manager. And what do asset managers do if they're going to be productive over time, productive profitably? They look to the future. So the fact that BlackRock is looking so strongly at a Bitcoin spot ETF, it shows that they're looking to the future. And I agree. Throw up this meme. I think this is perfect on my screen there, BJ. This is the meme that suggests this is what's happening. They're just chasing it, waiting on the SEC to make some damn rules. Let the capital flow into the best asset in history. This is what's going on right now.
I remember when that TikTok first dropped. It was a good one. All right, two things we're going to end with. CNBC. I normally wouldn't say this. NBC News Organization did a fantastic job. They talk about the James Zong case, where the guy that got caught with 50K Bitcoin. If you saw my video, my short, why does the U.S. government have $5 billion worth of Bitcoin? He was the number 3 largest arrest since 2020. The reason we look at things from 2020, they haven't really sold any of those coins, small amounts here and there. Coins from like 2014, they dumped them at a loss. They like auctioned it to Tim Draper and others. So since 2020, it's the 3rd largest recovery of stolen funds here of Bitcoin. So he stole and lost more than $3 billion. It is a fantastic video. It's 33 minutes. I watched it with my fiance. She is not into crypto at all, and she was able to watch it. We're having a good time because it's basically the story of just this lonely guy who's just trying to buy friends, and he gets robbed. Say what?
Sam Bankman-Fried?
Yes, exactly like that. So he gets robbed. They steal about $400K in cash, $400K in Bitcoin. They rob him, and then he calls the cops. If you ever seen Better Call Saul, there's this guy who gets robbed. He is a drug dealer, and he calls the cops. They're like, yeah, they stole my baseball cards. Well, they also stole his drugs. But he's like, no, he just only talks about the baseball cards. Well, the cops end up turning on him and using everything he says against him. It's the same exact scenario. He calls the cops on himself. Yeah, man, they broke into my house. They stole my money. They stole my Bitcoin. I have a theory. I shouldn't even say it out loud. I think the feds broke into his house. I think it was an inside job. I think it was straight up intelligence operation.
Like a citizen false flag kind of deal?
Well, I think there's people who are really good at psych reports, and I think they did an assessment on him, and they said, yeah, if we were to burglarize his home, he probably has an 80% chance he's going to call the cops. We'll use that as an instance to get inside his house and interrogate him.
It's a non-warrant search, essentially.
Yeah, he invited himself in.
Yeah.
He invites them in. Well, they do execute the search warrant while he's there. So I'm not going to give away the spoilers. That's all I'm going to say on it. It's how they get him is very intriguing. All right, this is what I might DCA into, and I'm going to tell you my investment thesis here. It might be Coinbase, folks. I'm going to tell you why.
Coinbase or Base? Or both?
It's Coinbase, not Base Layer 2.
Okay.
Let me ask you something here. I talked about it earlier. All these hedge funds, they want an ETF. They want a Bitcoin ETF. They're working with 2 partners. They're working with NASDAQ with the surveillance sharing agreement, meaning they want basically to show that there's no market manipulation. They want to make sure Justin Sun isn't going to steal BlackRock's money. Number 2, they work with a custody partner. Do you guys know who this custody partner's largely been?
Coinbase.
Coinbase. Let's say there's 14 Bitcoin ETFs approved all at once. Who's the big winner there?
Coinbase.
Coinbase is the big winner there. So NASDAQ, yeah, they have a surveillance sharing agreement. Guess what? BlackRock, they're probably going to pay them like, all right, here's $5 million a year. Thanks for your auditing services. Coinbase makes money on volume. I know they're going to get a sweetheart deal. You or I buy Bitcoin, they're taxing the heck out of us. They buy Bitcoin, they're getting like a sliver of the amount that we would get taxed. But they're still getting taxed, and they might be getting taxed on tens of billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin here. Maybe in the long run, hundreds of billions of dollars. So as these ETFs, BlackRock gets in, ARK Invest gets in, Vanguard gets in, Gemini gets in, all these people get in, Grayscale gets in, everybody's getting in. Who are they all using? They might all be using Coinbase. So Coinbase might be one of the secret winners from the ETF battle. So I might go ahead and buy some Coinbase stock. Let's pull up the chart right here.
Well, I did see right before we went live too, Invesco just basically, I don't know if they partner with or they're doing a new, essentially their ETF is going to be with Gemini. So that I don't know if that's just a counterpoint or if there's just different things going on, but Coinbase is still, I think, the winner in this overall.
So my counter to that was Coinbase contracts out a lot of their stuff. Oh, we don't do the trading. Genesis does the trading. Oh, we don't do that. They do that. So I think because they're so early, they had to be a little bit careful with the regulatory environment. So they didn't come out with like all the awesome laws. Like, yeah, we get to do this. We get to custody. We got all the green lights. They were navigating like, well, we won't do it. BNY Mellon will do it. Oh, we're not going to do it. We use this subsidiary.
Or passing off liability.
Passing off liability. That's the smart way of saying it. Yeah, they pass off liability. Whereas Coinbase, I think, if they're in the trenches, they're like, no, put these laws and regulations on our own shoulders. We'll hold it like Atlas. All right, so we look at the 1 year. I bought here, folks, and I told you guys to buy here. I was telling you to buy Coinbase in December. It was in the $30. What am I going to do? I'm up. I'm 2x. I might buy more, folks. Although now that I look, I didn't realize I'm up 2x. Maybe I'll lower my amount, but I don't hate coming in here, if I'm going to be honest. It reached above $100, and I think if we get all these ETFs approved, I think it would be won't be day one, but I think like day 5, week 2, a month in, people start smelling out that Coinbase. And so that's my Coinbase thesis there. I hope you guys, maybe tell me why I'm stupid, tell me why I'm smart in the comments. I'll read it. So cops and vets are like vampires. They need to be invited in. That was a good one.
If you haven't yet, thank you for being here. Hit that like button, subscribe, join us here at Discover Crypto. Come discover the crypto future that we all want to have together.
Chainlink over Coinbase. I have a lot more Chainlink. I have 3.2 Chainlink, and I have 1/10 of a share of Coinbase. That's $7. So that's where I'm coming in at. All right, George tweeted. All right, let's look at that. Breaking news. All right, here. Let's see. Cryptos are us. Click on that. All right, here we go. It's happening again. YouTube banning accounts. Not sure if I have any other crypto channel yet, but maybe coming soon. No explanation besides harmful and dangerous policy here. All right, so they're keeping it vague.
Do you think it might have to tie
I'm
in with
retweeting
the
them.
karate combat stuff?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's physical threats. Just kind of wrestling trash talk. Like Dylan Dennis, Logan Paul. I don't know. This is all speculation. That's a good theory. It could be that theory.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
I'm sure it's probably something to do with an algorithmic flag of something that, I think if people are just get vocal on Twitter and tag the necessary media source, then I think it could definitely help show standing with him and also hopefully get his channel back because I love George.
All right. Well, if you want to stand with us, hit that like button. Thank you for joining, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.
I love how the music just came in and Kelly's like, oh my god, I was playing Minecraft last night with one of my friends, and he said maybe my favorite quote ever. He's like, I feel like Andrew Tate's just kind of the Willy Wonka of 2023. What the fuck?
What does that mean? Started strong and ended weak?
I don't know. It was so ridiculous. It's like, I don't even know what that means.
He has
A
fallen off
spectacle?
as far as his impressions.
Yeah, the size he needs to be phased on. The size needs to be.
Yeah.
What, on these?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Are you totally zoomed out?
There's a zoom change, I think. And maybe it's on this end. You know, maybe the window is stretched, or maybe it isn't now. Like maybe the
Like, are you looking at it and not able to get it where you want on this?
a couple times, yeah.
Okay, that's what I need to figure out. Okay, cool. Do you have time to fuck with that in a little bit?
Well, let me just go to the bad ones here. So keep it where I could see it, and I'll show you. I know this one was it over here? No. Where was it?
So like that. So just
Oh, this one was. All right, so here I was like, I ended up moving it, but when I was here, that probably means now I have to like come in this way.
well. So hold on, we gotta kill this.
Secrets.
Like how everyone was like, oh wait.